again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And of course, the big story around the world isn't lesbians getting shot in their SUVs. It's not, football games or anything like that. It's not about some redacted pedophilia ring that the government won't share because most of the government's involved in it. No, the big news around the world now that everybody and their mama, except the United States media, is showing and covering are these incredible events, these protests that are going around in Iran. As of right now, day 12 of the protests, we've seen so far 45 dead that we know of and over 2,000 arrested. And those people you can almost guarantee half of them will probably be dead already. Iran is suffering through economic turmoil. And the young people now, because of the exposure of social media around the world, the young people now are starting to say, this radical extremist thing called Islam just ain't for us. We don't want to see girls in habibs, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. We don't want to see our 58-year-old uncles marry our 6-year-old sisters. We don't want to see this shit anymore. And they see what Iran looked like in the 1960s and 70s. When it was beautiful. Then the Islamic Revolution occurred in 1979, led by women. Women protested this. Women wanted it. This is the reason why we shouldn't allow women to even think. Women wanted this. And it turned into nearly 47 years of oppression and murder and arrests and just overall horror for these people. And Iran is probably one of 5 countries in the world, the modern world today, that has a glorious history that goes back 3-4 millennia. You can say China, Iran, northern part of India, the Iraqi Babylonian history, of course. And of course, we go to Italy, who has the city-states of the Renaissance, the Catholic Church right there, the Roman Empire, the Etruscans, the Roman Republic and the Etruscans. And of course, now we're finding out more about the Villanovan period was a lot more advanced than anywhere else in Western Europe of their age. But Iran has had enough. They've had enough. They're protesting. And we now know that the Iranian government has a full-fledged internet blackout. They're cutting off phone lines. They have blocked Elon Musk's Starlight service from allowing people to access to the outside world. And this is a straight up sign that this regime is either teetering, they're panicking, and they really don't see any way out. Now, we have seen Iran in protest before. In 2022, I believe it was, there was the protest for the Jani Alahi, the woman who was killed because she wouldn't wear her hijab. There were the protests in 2010. There were protests in 2003. The Arab Spring, promoted by Obama, did not touch Iran nearly as everyone hoped. But this here seems to be taking hold. And why? Why is it taking hold? And why is the American or the Western media not showing this? Why aren't they covering this more? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Christianity in Iran is on the rise, incredibly on the rise. In 2023, a statement from an Iranian cleric named Mohammed Dalabi cited that, where he made the claim that 50,000 to 75,000 mosques were closed, citing low attendance amid declining Islamicity. In terms of conversions, as of a 2020 survey, an estimated 1 to 1.5 million Iranians now identify as Christian. Some sources suggesting it's over 2 million up to today's date. That is a massive, massive achievement for these people. Now, most of them are turning evangelical, which is, but it's better. At this point, beggars can't be choosers. But it's a start, and that's where Islam always loses. Because when these people see the outside world and how people worship, how people live, you can live with God, and you can, wear a bathing suit with all decorum on a beach. You can go out and celebrate, have parties, and enjoy things. And women can wear skirts, and boys don't have to blow themselves up hoping to get 72 virgins in paradise. That lifestyle is so archaic and it's such idiocy that people are starting to find out on their own in Iran, in Iraq, in all these places. Indonesia was one of the largest Muslim populations in the world. They are now converting to Christianity at record numbers. As they say, we win in the end, right? If you're Catholic, Christian, whatever, we always win in the end. And it's starting to see here. Now, we have to hope that the United States turns back to God, but that's another story. Here are some scenes of the protests that are going on right now for your viewing pleasure. Of course, our footage is very limited because of the fact that the internet has been cut down. But we just pray that these people aren't massacred. And if this regime does open fire on these people, Donald Trump has already issued a warning. Now, we take this with a grain of salt, of course, because we don't know if Trump will come through on this. But here is a statement from the Orange Messiah himself. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. This, of course, this is, of course, on his platform. I forget what, Truth Central, whatever the fuck it's called. This was from January 2nd, 2026, 9:58 a.m. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter! Exclamation point. President Donald J. Trump. And I love how he puts president just in, just regular form, but boldly puts Donald J. Trump, not president, because Donald J. Trump is more important than president. This is exciting news, depending on your worldview. I don't think this has anything to do with advancing the United States agenda in the Middle East. I think this will only make it unstable. Now, who benefits? Pro bono, right? Qui bono. Well, Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the Shah of Iran, has called for more anti-regime protests. Why? Well, I'm guessing he thinks that if the regime topples, he can take back control for his family name of Iran and bring it back to its Persian roots and go from there. Dollars to donuts. Dollars to donuts. I think this guy's in exile in England, by the way. Dollars to donuts. This guy is a CIA or MI6 op. He's funded by the United States. He's getting money from the Western powers, and they're trying to get this guy back in control. Why? Well, if they get this guy back in control, you don't have to worry about Iran building nuclear weapons. And Iran is about what, 30% of the world's oil? It's always that black tea, ladies and gentlemen. It's always that black tea. There's a method to the madness in the West. They love that fucking oil. They love gold. They love silver. They love oil and cobalt. But because now all the batteries and all the Tesla shit, you're going to need lithium and cobalt. But it's always about that oil. You don't see anybody giving a shit about Indonesia, and Indonesia has oil too. We have to know what China thinks about this. We should know what India thinks about this. These are nuclear powers. The Western world will be happy about this because now they can open up through the Black Sea. They can open up pipelines for oil to go into Europe, and they might not have to rely on Russia so much. So the Europeans are taking a close look to this. Why they haven't put money into these protests and help these people more, I don't know. But we'll see if this protest leads to anything. So far, there have been 4 of them over the last 25 years, or 26 years. Sooner or later, something's gonna break. We'll see if this is the one. We live in strange times, my friends. Strange times. Be ready, and like the president said, be locked and loaded and ready to go. And that's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember, my friends, Satan is always busy. He started off the new year in a big way. Be a man, have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And just remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.